Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Clinton Howell Team's Weekly Market Update. I am your host, Clinton Howell, and what the Howell is going on? Let's get into it. Okay, so I was really curious. I've been seeing bungalows and bungalofts selling quickly. I've been noticing this. So I dug into some stats to compare the bungalow absorption rates, bungalofts, raised bungalows, to the balance of the market. And what I found was very, very interesting. So what I found is that in Burlington, in the past 30 days, the absorption rate has been for those types of properties, the main floor living plans, 69%. So it's actually been a seller's market for bungalows, bungalofts, raised bungalows, the main floor living type properties, as compared to the overall market at 42%, which is a buyer's market. So that just shows you that, basically you really need to look at the specific property that you're dealing with, either buying or selling, to know what kind of market you're dealing with. Whereas in the past 90 days, it's been around 55% absorption for these bungalows, bungalofts, raised bungalows, this type of property. So still a seller's market territory where it's been a buyer's market overall at large. I also was curious about the Waterdown area, and I found that the absorption rate in Waterdown for this kind of property was sitting around 50%, which is a balanced market as compared to the rest of Hamilton, which is 36%, which is a buyer's market. So very different based on types of properties, types of neighborhoods, all those sort of things. What is happening in our appointment center, describing the demand side of the business? This past week has been super busy. Another solid week across the region. Our brokerage had booked 3,289 appointments and 366 properties got sold, showing buyers are still active and engaged in the market. In the past week alone, the absorption rates have been in seller's market territory. Even more encouraging, employment activity is running 4.3% higher than the same period last year, reinforcing the momentum we've been seeing throughout 2026. Remax Escarpment's also posting a strong, check this out, 96.3% sales to new listings ratio for just that 1 week, well ahead of the regional average. So bottom line is the demand remains strong, homes are moving, and we're heading into summer with a positive market momentum. It's been a late spring market, I can tell you that for sure. Kind of a late start to it. In Burlington, we've got a similar number of listings that we had last week, and we've got about 200 sales in the past 30 days. About 3.3 months worth of supply. And as mentioned a little bit ago, we're in a buyer's market territory, 42%, which is actually absorption has actually dropped a bit compared to a week ago. We're still looking at median days on market of around 3 weeks and cumulative days on market sitting around 54 days. In the Hamilton area, we've got a similar number of listings where we had last week. Sales are also similar. We've about 471 sales in the greater Hamilton area in the past month. 36% on the absorption. So still very much a strong buyer's market in Hamilton. Median days on market about 3.5 weeks, and average days on market about 5-6 weeks, somewhere in that range. Cumulative days on market, so including cancels, relists, all that sort of stuff, about 60 days. So still taking a bit longer to get properties sold in Hamilton. Oakville area, number of listings sitting around 390, roughly where it was last week. Sales for the past 30 days up slightly at 117, about 3.3 months worth of supply. Almost a balanced market in terms of the absorption, so that's actually been increasing. The absorption's been increasing in Oakville. Momentum has been building there, 47.56% on the absorption, so just underneath that balanced threshold. And we're seeing for the past 30 days, a median days on market of 16. So like I said, pretty quick. Things are heating up in Oakville. Average days on market, 27. Cumulative average at 51. That's what I got for you today. If you have any questions, love to hear from you. And have a great day.